You're not driving now, are you? You look like
I am, sir. I got an ear headset on.
you can't drive while we're conducting court, for the God's sakes. Stop smoking, will you?
I know it. I know it. That's my only habit, though.
No. I mean, you're still in court here. I can't have you smoking in court. All right. I mean,
well, you know what? I didn't think about that. I'm sorry.
How many semi-truck accidents happen each year in the U.S.? Have any of us Class A drivers ever thought about that? Every year, hundreds of thousands of truck accidents take place on the U.S. roads, and many of them result in life-altering outcomes. Listen, the latest FMCSA data sheet shows large trucks are involved in, listen to this, over 500,000 crashes in the U.S. a year. They aren't just numbers, they represent the families affected, careers disrupted, and futures that's possibly changed forever. So when you're sitting behind this seat as a Class A driver, you need to understand there is a serious weight and responsibility that we actually hold. And many times, the smallest mistakes can carry great consequences. And that's what we're going to see now in this episode with your boy, Starsky the Trucker. Check it out.
Hey, did y'all hear about that truck driver in Oregon that just received 579 months, 48 years in prison behind some dumb shit? Watch. Hey, this right here is Lincoln Smith, man, 54 of California, man. Lincoln testified, man, that in May of 2023, he had been up all night with some hitchhikers doing meth and cocaine. About 6:30 a.m., he felt he was sober enough to drive. He pulled off, got to driving around noon. He said he felt himself getting sleepy. He said he stopped at 2 rest areas. Both of them were full, and he was still looking for parking. He was headed to a 3rd rest area to find parking, and I guess he dozed off at the wheel, wound up running into some farm workers. It was 11 of them in a van, 7 of them wound up dying. People on the scene say he had been swerving up and down the highway for a while. 911 had been called several times for somebody to come out and get him. Oregon said this was the worst crash in Oregon history, right? They said he hit that van so hard that van flew or shifted 218 feet forward, man. 218 feet forward, man. Well, he just received 579 months in prison, man. 48 years, threw his life away. So we 54. So in other words, he gonna die in prison, man.
It's okay. It's exactly the same as in the script.
Cool.
You guys all read the script.
Well, the guy who crashed not too long ago in Columbia, Missouri on I-70 got sentenced today, if you guys remember this crash.
Mateo is accused of killing 54-year-old Cindy Helms of Tennessee and 84-year-old Melvina Collin of Colorado on I-70 last Monday. Court documents say a semi-truck crossed over the median where he hit multiple cars, including a U-Haul driven by Helms. Mateo's wife claims his license was lost in the crash and police couldn't find him in the system. She says when she tried to show police a picture of his license at the hospital, it wasn't enough for them to think it was valid.
It looks like he pleaded guilty today of 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 4th-degree assault charges. He did get 4 years prison time, but it looks like it is state prison. It's not federal, so he's probably not going to do anywhere close to that time whatsoever.
Breaking news, the truck driver sentenced to 110 years in prison for a 2019 crash that left 4 dead outside Denver had his sentence reduced to 10 years by Colorado's governor. The original sentence drew outrage across the country. More than 5 million people signed an online petition seeking clemency.
Video of the incident shows Dylan Fogel driving the semi after he was booted from the club for being inappropriate with a staff member. He got into a brief altercation outside the club before getting into the truck at around 4 a.m. the morning of August 13th of 2024. He was very drunk, according to prosecutors, and sent a bevy of text messages at around the same time saying what he was about to do. The crash killed a 44-year-old father named Giovanni Soto and injured 2 others. He was found guilty on a charge of first-degree murder several weeks ago, which carries a mandatory sentence of life behind bars. Today, the judge made that official, but not before he admitted that what he did was wrong.
I would just like to say that I'm so deeply sorry for what happened. And if I could, I would so trade places with the victim. And then I'm so sorry for the families that they're having to go through this. Because it's just hurt and pain.
You're a person who people care about. You're a person who cares about other people. But on this particular night, within the 2-hour period that preceding this event, during this event, you didn't care about anybody.
You can't be mad at bro, right? Bro went for his move. He had about a 60-day run. He was probably successful, right? Hopefully he stacked some of that bread up doing his little run and shit for lawyer fees, bond money, and getting back to where he from and shit when he get out of jail, right? But you got 40-year-old Kevin Henderson, right? He was just arrested up at Arconic in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The company he was previously employed with, they fired him. So I guess they gave him the option to bring the truck back to a terminal. He never returned the truck to the terminal. He continued. He basically, I don't know if he leased the truck on with somebody else, but he was running his own loads with that company truck, right? And he had been doing it for about 60 days. Police did some type of tracking. They found the truck in Lancaster, PA, and arrested him, right? And when they arrested him, he was found with drug paraphernalia. He had a weed grinder in the truck with him, and he was arrested for forgery because he had some counterfeit money also in the truck with him, right? And he was arrested for theft of property too, also for being in the stolen truck because the company reported the truck stolen. But you really can't be mad at Buddy went for his move, man. He went for his move. Hopefully, like I said, he stacked some bread up for lawyer fees, bond money, and so that way he can get back to where he came from once he get out of jail. But hey, people do crazy shit, and this about some of the craziest shit I done heard when it comes to
Fuck script, spit that shit out, man.
All right, the wet offense.
the guy up there. That's him. It's Travis. It's Travis Briscoe, right? So Wednesday, August 13th, in Wichita, Kansas, Travis Briscoe and another guy. I'm gonna call him Mr. Muhammad. I don't want to butcher his first name and disrespect him, so we're just gonna call him Mr. Muhammad. Him and Mr. Muhammad had an altercation over a parking spot at a truck stop. From what I was told, a couple guys that was there inboxed me and said they believe it was over a truck stop, but they had a verbal altercation, right? So Mr. Briscoe decided he was still gonna bag into the spot. I guess the other guy was still behind the trailer. He wound up bagging into the spot, hitting the guy, killing him at the scene. He had to be going pretty fast to bag into him and kill him. He wound up getting booked into the jail on second-degree murder, which I got from a press release. At first they were saying it was unintentional manslaughter or some shit like that, right? But he wound up, the press release said he was booked on second-degree murder. The whole thing with the situation is, man, y'all gotta stop. As truckers, as humans, as just people in general, man, we gotta stop acting off impulse and make logical decisions, especially as grown-ass men. He's 46, so that means he probably got a wife, a family, a kids that depend on him, and he possibly done squandered all that shit away behind a senseless fucking, something senseless, bro, that could have been easily fucking avoided, man. Something senseless, he probably done squandered all that shit away. They gotta come up with lawyer fees. He done lost his job, most likely. Probably finna get sued, all type of shit, bro. So, hey, you gotta be thinking, man. Make logical decisions when you are out here on this road and stop acting off impulse, man. A lot of shit don't even be that serious. You can walk away. I swear you ain't gonna be no bitch if you walk away. I promise you.
Here's something to think about. Most crashes involve large trucks and are caused by human error, which is cited as the critical reason in nearly 87% of all large truck accidents. The primary factors, listen to this, primary factors includes driver fatigue, speeding, being distracted, poor decision making, and inadequate surveillance, man. You're not using, that swivel. Other significant causes include brake failure, poor maintenance, and also cargo issues. The brake failure was one of the things that was cited when the guy that was given 110 years, that was his problem. He didn't take the off ramp, you know, but I think that's in one of the videos up and coming. But we drivers have to understand that when we have an accident, the first people they're going to blame is who? They're going to blame us. So we got to be vigilant, man. We got to be vigilant. The rates that these accidents are happening with large trucks and buses have increased since 2022. Yeah, it's increased. It was at about 8%. Now it's up to 43% and climbing. I'm not trying to be a downer, but what I am saying, listen, trucking is already on its last leg. We don't need to give them any more reasons to give our job to AI, right?
Deerfield police arrested a truck driver who drove from Seattle, Washington to Franklin County, apparently straight through, while high on crystal meth and LSD. Deerfield police said that the driver was arrested around noon yesterday at the Circle K on Greenfield Road. The driver admitted to not sleeping and instead using crystal meth, LSD, and cocaine to stay awake during his cross-country trip. The truck was impounded. The driver charged with operating under the influence of drugs. His name has not been released.
You really think you're ready for the field? I once used defibrillators on myself. I put shards of glass in my fucking eye.
A Punjabi asylum seeker who killed a 23-year-old white Canadian in a trucking accident has just been sentenced to 55 days in jail. While in court today, he literally needed a Punjabi translator to even understand what the fuck was going on with this case. Next time you're on the highway, you should try to avoid these semi-trucks by all means necessary, because 90% of the time it's people who are fresh off the boat and don't know what they're doing. In what world are we giving lighter sentences for people who commit vehicular manslaughter than people who are simply just saying provocative things on Twitter like denying the Holocaust? At the very least, this guy should be sent back to his country. This is unacceptable.
Rest in peace, man, Louise. This is 41-year-old Louise S. I'm going to say S because I don't want to butcher his last name, right? Out of respect for him. But last week, Louise was at the Walt Whitman rest area on the New Jersey Turnpike. He was walking to the restroom, or I don't know what he was doing, but he was walking between trucks at the rest area, right? And it was a Peterbilt and it was a Dodge Ram, probably a hot shot. Most likely it was a hot shot pickup truck, right? As he walked between both of those two vehicles, the Peterbilt began rolling and it crushed him between the Ram truck and the Peterbilt. Ambulance wound up coming out. He was seriously injured. They took him to the hospital. He succumbed to his injuries at the hospital. Both trucks were unoccupied, so nobody was in either trucks. The driver forgot to set his brakes, and the truck began to roll. It's a sad freak accident type thing, but check them brakes, man. When y'all getting out them trucks, man, make sure y'all checking them brakes and shit, making sure everything is, your brakes is set. Just go over them trucks before y'all walk away from them, because this was totally 100% avoidable, man. But rest in peace to Louise S, man.
A truck driver with a perfect 8-year record stopped to help a family of 4 stranded in freezing weather. He changed their tire in 15 minutes. His delivery arrived 6 minutes late. The company fired him for unacceptable delay. Watch what the judge says.
Your Honor, family of 4 stranded roadside. 15 degrees out. Kids in the car. I stopped, changed their tire, took 15 minutes, made my delivery 6 minutes late. 8 years perfect record. They fired me. That's all.
Your Honor, the employment contract specifies on-time delivery requirement. The defendant deviated from his route without authorization. 6 minutes late violates service guarantees. Client satisfaction scores dropped. Company policy doesn't include Good Samaritan exemption.
He stopped in freezing weather to help a stranded family with children. Changed their tire. Saved lives. Delivered 6 minutes late after 8 perfect years. You fired him for basic human decency. This is wrongful termination.
Are a licensed truck driver and have a CDL. You allegedly have alcohol in the car. You are held to a higher standard because you have a CDL. In fact, your breath tests are even lower than what a normal person is because of a CDL. And now you want me to just cut you some slack? Every person that comes in here, when they have alcohol in the car, I take away their ability to drive. Actions have consequences. And I understand that this is going to cost you big, but am I supposed to feel bad until I truly know that you appreciate the fact that the awesome privilege it is to be able to drive? I'm sorry. Show me that you understand and that you appreciate the ability to drive, and then I'll reconsider. But I have a real problem considering even that you have a CDL. You have alcohol in the car allegedly while you're driving? No. Take a seat. Show me sometime that he appreciates it and not this, oh, I feel better now. I'm like, no. Proactivity that he appreciates it. Come back and we can talk. Yes, sir.
Don't be afraid to hit that block button.
Columbus truck driver charged in a 9-car I-71 crash that killed 3 people, including an infant, right? So it says here, Columbus, Ohio, a Columbus truck driver is facing vehicular homicide charges after a massive 9-vehicle pileup in a construction zone killed 3 people, including 1-year-old. So on Interstate 71, Saturday evening. The Ohio State Highway Patrol reported that the crash occurred around 6:27 p.m. northbound lanes of I-71 near the U.S. Routes 36 interchange in Delaware County. The driver of the semi-truck, Madhu F. Nyam, 50 of Columbus, was taken into custody following the crash. He is currently being held at the Delaware County Jail on charges of vehicular homicide. Now, according to investigators, a 2006 Freightliner semi-truck was traveling northbound when it failed to stop for a line of traffic backed up with the construction zone. Semi slammed into the rear of several stopped vehicles, triggering a chain reaction that involves 9 vehicles in total. The victims, all residents of Ashley, Ohio, were traveling in the 2016 Chevrolet Silverado. Troopers identified the deceased as a 37-year-old man, 36-year-old woman, and a 1-year-old child. Yeah.
For discharging a firearm at another individual's vehicle, this court sentences you to 9 months in county jail.
Judge, that man called my wife fat right there in the bar. Then he runs outside laughing and peels off. You damn right I shot at his truck. Disrespect like that don't happen where I'm from.